Time for a look at the business news now. Stephen Carroll is with us this morning. Hello to you, Stephen.
Hi,
we're going to start off with some news from the States after General Motors and Ford. Donald Trump has now set his sights on another car maker.
This time it's Toyota's turn. The president-elect threatened to impose tariffs on the Japanese company for cars built at a new plant in Mexico. Toyota says it won't be reducing its production in Mexico as a result, but shares in the company down 1.5% in Tokyo today after that latest Twitter spat. Meanwhile, the boss of Renault Nissan has called on Donald Trump to come up with clear rules for car makers that want to import vehicles into the United States. Carlos Ghosn told the Financial Times the industry needed laws and regulations and that they needed to be applied in an even-handed way. Nissan doesn't have any plans currently to build new factories in Mexico, but it already imports significant numbers of cars from there to the United States.
It's a story you're no doubt bound to be following rather closely in the weeks and months ahead. For now, let's turn our attention to the markets. How are they trading, Stephen?
European shares opening in the red this Friday. Precious metal firms leading the falls, particularly in London. Oil companies trading down too. The market's going to be watching closely, though, for a jobs report out of the United States later today to see what impact that might have on the US economy and on the dollar in particular, which has been trading strongly since the election of Donald Trump. Over in Asia today, Japanese shares in the red. The owner of the clothing chain Uniqlo fell by almost 7% after their latest results. Some gains, though, on the Kospi in Seoul and the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, trading just above the flat line. Some more of today's business headlines for you next. Samsung is on track for its best profit figures in 3 years, despite the problems with the Galaxy Note 7 smartphone. The company expects operating profit to surge by 50% in the last 3 months of 2016. That's thanks to strong sales of microchips and display panels. The global recall of the Note 7, after reports of phones catching fire, cost the company more than $5 billion. Its shares, though, up by almost 2% in Seoul today. The value of Bitcoin has tumbled after climbing close to record highs earlier this year. The virtual currency, according to the website CoinDesk, is worth around $980 today. That's around 15% lower than yesterday. The sell-off thought to have been sparked by fears of China imposing new rules to stop its citizens moving money out of the country. And sales from Apple's App Store rose by 40% in 2016. The figures were boosted by the popularity of mobile games like Pokemon Go and Super Mario Run. Apple paid more than $20 billion to app developers last year. On December 31st, there were 2.2 million apps available for download, up a fifth from a year earlier.
Well, we head to Las Vegas next, where the world's biggest technology showcase has opened to the public.
The Consumer Electronics Show has become the reference point for innovation in recent years. Artificial intelligence, one of the things getting a lot of attention at this year's show, as it's being applied in new and unusual ways. This report from our correspondents in Las Vegas.
It's the star of CES this year, the self-driving car. Several car manufacturers showcased their progress. A key component in this Korean model, sensors with peripheral vision.
And what these are looking for is, for example, things like pedestrians crossing a crosswalk.
These sensors function as the car's eyes. Its memory is a high-detailed map of the streets. And the brain, artificial intelligence, which analyzes all the gathered data.
That combination together allows the cars to then make decisions on whether, whether to turn or drive faster or slower.
AI goes beyond the automobile industry. It's everywhere at the show, from the smart home to the personal assistant. It penetrates even the most basic parts of life.
And it tells you if you are at the right place in your mouth or in the wrong place.
Colibri invented the first intelligent toothbrush. This creation is the pride of this Parisian startup. At $129, it's not a gadget. It analyzes every brush and suggests adjustments.
The technology has captured data on millions of different brushes that people have had over 3 years. That way it knows just where to go.
And of course, you can't talk about artificial intelligence without talking about robots. And there were a lot of them here at CES this year. And some of them do multiple things like security, edutainment, and even elder care, like Buddy. Hello, Buddy.
How are you? I am doing great. You seem like you are in a good shape too.
That's Sniper Reynoso there in Las Vegas. Lots to see at the Consumer Electronics Show. Do you fancy a robot?
I do. Especially one of those cute ones. Not one of those evil ones that was going to take over my house and imprison me in it. But one of those ones looks quite nice.
Get right on that for you.
Thanks, Stephen. Stephen Carroll with the business news now.